Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas.
His name is Dean. We like Dean.
I'm a little late with this review, getting to it about a week late. Didn't get a chance to see it opening weekend, but it's the next installment of this Warner Brothers Monster Universe, and it is Kong Skull Island.
It's time to show that man is king.
So obviously, this movie is another King Kong movie. But this movie is doing different things differently. Instead of doing the whole, let's go capture Kong, bring him to New York City, shoot him off of the Empire State Building, this is going to the island where King Kong originates. And this movie really expands kind of on the mythology of King Kong, which is, to me, the best part about this movie, is everything involving Kong himself. Because they give you a pretty cool backstory into who Kong kind of is. They add more to the mythology that I've never really seen done. Whether that's kind of saying why he kind of exists, or what developed into being the creature, the monster that he is, and it kind of makes him feel like a real character. Now, yes, in the other movies, you very much come to learn and see that he isn't just a giant monster. There is some sort of kindness in his heart. He is able to be a caring animal, but this one they even go a little bit farther, and it feels more like he's an actual character to a certain extent. Like I said, I love the mythology they kind of built behind it. The island itself, Skull Island, is really cool because the way the mythology they build around it, of why all these creatures are living there, why it's still kind of in this prehistoric time, and then the way it builds on the universe as a whole, because as we know, or I would hope you know, and if you don't, get ready to be excited, that in 2020 we are going to get a Godzilla versus King Kong movie. So this movie takes place in the same universe as 2014's Godzilla. Now this movie is set in the 70s, so it's kind of a prequel sort of thing to that eventual movie in the first Godzilla movie. But the fight scenes between Kong and these monsters are really cool. The visuals in this movie are top notch. The CGI is great. There are a couple times you can tell characters are standing in front of a green screen, but I can push that aside because Kong looks great. The action, the fighting is all really exciting. It's just fun to watch. Now, where this movie comes down a few notches for me is, one, like I mentioned, the 70s is very cool. They're going for that very Vietnam sort of era sort of feel with the musical choices, the garb. Obviously, like I said, it takes place in the 70s, so that's what they're going for. And if there's any song you've ever seen in a 70s movie, or any song that's very much just like prototypical 70s, it is in this movie. They did not do anything original on that part of it. They're all the songs you've always heard in any movie ever that takes place in the 70s. And then to me, it's the characters that really just are kind of blah. They're all very prototypical, they're stereotypical, they're sort of the characters you've seen before. There's nothing original or new. Some of the characters are a little over the top at times, and there's just nothing really there for you to like grasp onto, to care about. They're more or less just a vehicle to get you onto Skull Island, and therefore for you to meet King Kong. I mean, you've got a top-notch cast. Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, John Goodman, Samuel L. Jackson, John C. Reilly, and that list goes on and on. But their characters really weren't given much. It was more just like, let's put some big stars in this movie to sell it so we can, really sell this movie, get a lot more money at the box office, which I understand. But their characters just really didn't have a big role to play. They were, like I said, they were just vehicles to get the audience, us as an audience, and the movie story as a whole to Skull Island. I keep wanting to call it Kong Skull Island, but it's just to Skull Island so we can meet King Kong and get to the really cool action. I mean, that's why you're going to see this movie. You're going to see this movie for King Kong, to see him beat up some monsters, to get some sweet action, and you get all of that. It's just with the stuff that builds the movie well and kind of puts a whole nice coating on the movie, that's where it comes lacking. The humor, I think John C. Reilly's humor works relatively well. I was really worried about his characters being too kooky and out there, but a lot of the humor I really didn't love, and that was my big concern coming out of the trailers. The second trailer I did not like, and it was because of the humor in there, and it kind of carries over to the movie as a whole. A lot of humor falls flat. There's a lot of really weird lines. The dialogue is kind of like really over the top, on the nose, and not well written, to be completely honest with you. But like I said, if you're going to see a King Kong movie, you want to see King Kong do some awesome stuff. You want to see some great action. You want to see some cool creatures. You get all of that. So I can't say I was disappointed with the movie. I just wish there was a little bit more going on around Kong himself. So for me, I'm going to score this movie relatively well. It's an entertaining movie. It gets me excited for King Kong vs. Godzilla. Don't get me wrong, this movie in no way takes away my excitement for that. There is a post-credit scene in this movie, so do stick around. But for me, I'm going to give Kong Skull Island a 65%. Really fun movie, tons of action, really cool visuals, great CGI for the most part. Just characters fall flat, story's not the greatest, humor doesn't always work, but it's still a fun movie. And this movie may give J.J. Abrams' Star Trek a run for its money in terms of lens flares, because there are a lot of them, and noticeably in the first third of the movies when I was really noticing them, they were all over this thing. I just thought that was kind of funny. But overall, I think Kong Skull Island does its job to an extent. It's a lot of fun. It's 65% for me. So there you guys have it. That's my review of Kong Skull Island. Make sure you're following me on Twitter @NeatMovieNews for all the latest in the world of movies, and we will see you back here next time.